Okay. Well, back again with another story, and this involves when I was flying passengers and gamblers down to the old Waterford racetrack where the Mountaineer Racino is now. So we're using a twin-engine airplane to take these guys down. They go to the racetrack, and then they drive over to Wheeling, West Virginia, and they would gamble all night long. I'd wait there for them and fly them back. And this happened one winter for just about 3 nights every week, right straight through the winter. We'd go down to the gambling joint. I'd have to sit there in a chair waiting for them, and I didn't gamble or anything, so I'd doze off. Then they'd wake me up when they're ready to go, get in the car, go back to the airport, and we'd go home. Well, they were playing a Greek game called Barboot, and it's a game where you use 6 dice. And it's probably the best gamble going because you don't play against the house. When you play against the house at any of these casinos, they take a big cut out of it. So your chances of winning are really tough. But you playing Barboot, you play against each other. So there's a big table like a pool table. And the guy standing in the center was the dealer. And he would call out win, win. So all the guys that bet win would lay their money down, and then he'd bet lose. And all the guys who betting lose would lay their money down. So the house took 2.5 or 5% of every pot. They had no risk. So they made money every time the dice rolled. So the man on the right got the dice, and he rolled. And if he threw snake eyes or deuce, whatever, then everybody, the guys who bet win, lost, and the other guys that bet lose won. So they made tremendous piles of money by doing this. The dealer at that place, the most popular one, was a big guy, and his name was Jocko. And he had the whiskey cheeks, you know, had the high blood pressure cheeks, he had a croaking voice for too many cigarettes and all of that, and his voice always boomed out. And whenever he'd see us coming in the door, he'd yell out, "Goats! We don't have enough goats down here. They got to fly them in from Akron, Ohio." That was our introduction. But one night, Jocko, on his day off, was just a confirmed gambler. He's an addicted gambler. And he would win and he'd lose. He'd win and he'd lose. This night, he was on a good streak. And he was really piling it up, and he broke the house. And the owner of the place, a guy by the name was Billy. The name of the joint was Billy's in Wheeling, West Virginia. And it was a restaurant with a steel door and the gambling joint in the back. So you had to know somebody to get in there. Jocko, on his night off, was gambling. And he hit it big. He hit what the gamblers called the hand of a lifetime. And he was piling up the money. But Big Bill Elias was the guy who owned the place. Now he's gone, so I can tell this story. Now Big Bill had the concession for gambling and all the other bad stuff in the Ohio Valley. From the Pittsburgh mob, gave it to him. What happened, Big Bill Elias took the rap for a mob boss on a murder charge. This is history. This is a real true story. So Big Bill Elias, he talked with an accent, and he went to federal prison for 4 years. He got out, and the mob then was indebted to him because he took the rap for the mob boss. So there Jocko is gambling away at Big Bill's place. So Big Bill was watching him. And Jocko finally broke the game. So Big Bill ran an honest game. Big Bill Elias ran an honest game, but he didn't like to lose money. So he walked over to the table. He says, "You're a big gambler, huh?" He spoke with an accent. "Hey, Jocko, you a big gambler?" "Yeah, I'm a big gambler." He says, "You got guts, Jocko? You got guts like a beast?" "Yeah, I got guts. What are you talking about, Bill?" He says, "I will bet you double or nothing on one roll on that pirate gun. How much money you got there?" And he says, "Probably $200,000. Why, do you want to borrow some, Big Bill? Huh? You broke or something? This made Big Bill Elias mad. He's all right, double or nothing. You got guts? Yeah, I got guts. He's okay. So they gave the dice to Jocko. He rolled the dice, came up with snake eyes, meaning he lost. He lost his pile of money. He'd been gambling for years and years, trying to hit it big. Spent all his money gambling. So he stared at the dice, then Big Bill says, push the money over. He said, you come and get it. So Jocko staggers out of the place, and on the way out he kept yelling. I'm trying to remember the phrase now. Easy come, easy go. I remember that clear now. I had to think for a minute. Easy come, easy go. He staggered out the door, turned to the people in the gambling joint yelling, easy come, easy go, and he left. The next morning, they found kids going to school, cut through a park, and they found Jocko hanging from a tree limb. This is a story that I really saw happen myself in Billy's place. I was dozing off in a chair because I was the pilot. I had to fly these guys back, so I slept. And they woke me up with all the commotion, and that's when it started with Jocko was just cleaning house. So that story, that whole thing I observed and I watched. And then I heard the next day what happened. So it's a true story, and it's a sad story.